The fall is a very pretty season. It's not really my favorite because of the weather, and I started to develop seasonal allergies, so I definitely wasn't a fan. But it's very beautiful to see the colors of the leaves. You see the oranges, you see the yellows, the greens, the reds, the purples, even just the gradients of colors. And I began to get curious about, well, what happens to these leaves? Why do they change now in the fall? What makes them so magical? Something to look at, right? So beautiful. And what's interesting is that because of the shorter days in the fall and because there is less sunlight, which the leaves actually use to help them produce the chlorophyll. And the chlorophyll is what actually helps them is what they need, is that they get their chlorophyll from the direct sunlight. But in the fall, heading into the winter, especially if you're in the Midwest or areas like it, there's less sunlight. So essentially, these changing of the leaves' colors represents a lack of nutrients. And what ends up happening, what's very interesting, is that they eventually start to change colors, right? They show their lack of nutrients, and it just happens to show up in a gradient of colors. And then eventually, as the tree who has these leaves, because at some point the leaves are actually feeding the trees. Here's the thing, is that the sun going in there. What's so beautiful is that the trees also knows what it needs. It knows that the leaves does not have the sustainability and the energy in order to help keep the trees lively in the future. What I mean by lively, the trees anticipate and already know, because it happens every fall and every winter transition, that if they do not put up a protective barrier between the leaves and the tree itself, that as beautiful as those leaves are, its lack of nutrients can cause damage and vulnerability to the tree in the winter season. So the protective layer from the tree is something that it puts up so that it is no longer susceptible to the changing and the lack of nutrients from the leaves. Thus, the leaves end up falling off. We see them on the ground. You get, people raking the leaves, and eventually the trees just have no leaves. They're just bare. Have you ever considered that the beauty of your triggers, the beauty of your insecurities, the beauty of the things that other people have told you about you that maybe you don't really understand or know, but a lot of people are saying them about you, your blind spots, areas of improvement, your guardedness, your tend to avoid, to deflect, you tend to be anxious, your desire to want to be in community but still feel isolation and just feeling just by yourself and lonely. The beauty of the leaves is that it highlights where it's deficient. Many times we're not comfortable with highlighting our areas of deficiency. We want to put on like everything is good, like everything is as it should be. And yes, there are different things like are definitely good, but the reality is, as long as you're human, you will go through something. You are not someone who no matter how much money you make, no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from, you are a human being, have blood running through your veins. You need oxygen to inhale and to keep yourself sustained. And you also have challenges. And it's okay to have challenges. But there is beauty in your deficiencies. There's beauty in seeing your triggers. There's beauty in your imperfections. There's beauty in your pain. There's purpose in your pain. There's beauty in the gradients that you have, just like these leaf colors where they change. You can see it from yellow to orange and to purple, and you see some dark, and then it's like a whole, like, it's the best level of gradient that I've ever seen, even before people started to do it with their clothes and do it with their hair and do it in other areas in fashion. The nature was already showing us the beauty of transition. It is okay to not have everything figured out, and it is okay for those areas in your life to be highlighted by people, especially people that you love. Usually the fruit in your life, in your relationships, your friendships, your career, your health, It's just an outward reflection of an internal challenge. Embrace your imperfections. Allow yourself to feel the emotions. If you've gotten to a point where you're so numb, where life has just happened, life is happening, and you can't seem to keep your finger on it enough to get a firm foundation, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that it is okay. I want you to know that there is beauty inside of your transition and your changes and your insecurities and your deficiencies. What's beautiful is that all the seasons, we go from fall to winter, right, to spring to summer, and it repeats itself. This is not forever. It is temporary. So what you can do inside of this season, and as we go into the winter season and the leaves are going to fall off, and the tree is, you as a tree are growing and developing, is seasonal. Your roots are planted as a tree. They're planted deep. And if you're a believer, or just anybody, regardless if it's Jesus, for me it is, but whoever you see as your creator, as the higher power, get rooted inside of your knowing that you're loved. I was reminded over the weekend that we are created, as much as you could think about something that you recently accomplished, something that it took a vision, it took planning, it took insight, it took continuing when it didn't look like it was possible to continue moving forward. Think about that. And think about the co-creation it took, the vision you had to have, the belief you had to have, even when it didn't seem like it was going to happen. You had to be inside of the creation process. Well, God is inside of the creation process with you, and He also created you. You are very proud of the thing that you accomplished. God is very proud of you as His creation. He is with you every step of the way, and there's nothing or no one that can take that ever away from you. His divine presence saturates every cell of your body. His divine and infinite and unfailing presence saturates every cell of your body. So even inside of the transition, even when the things rise that are uncomfortable to deal with or hear, you are still loved. You are still protected. You are still safe. You are still forgiven. You are still comforted. And you have everything that you need in that moment. You're not alone. Start to connect yourself with people who can give you the truth about yourself and can do it in love, can do it with affirming you that you are built for this, that can do it in a way that makes you feel that, you know what, yes, I have this thing going on, but this thing does not have me. Okay? It's here in my life, but it does not have to have me. It doesn't have me. And I won't allow whatever this thing is. And what's beautiful is that because it's coming to the surface, it is the very thing that you can use to help free others. It is okay to go through this season. It is okay to have and experience the fall and the changes of the colors and the leaves and the changes that are being shown within yourself in areas where you thought maybe you were blind. It's okay for people to give you positive and constructive feedback. Spit out the bones, eating the meat. It's okay. It's okay to feel a little hurt by the information. It's okay to feel discomfort with that relationship or that career, that person. It is okay. All of these feelings are evidence and are indicators of how you can navigate. Because just like the seasons, God willing, the trees will come in full bloom again. The leaves will be dark in their colors and have the chlorophyll, and the sunlight will continue to feed them, and the leaves will begin to feed the trees all over again. This is a part of a process. Life is a process. You are constantly in creation. And I just want you to know that you are good. You are better than good. You are better than good. And it is okay at times to not be okay. I want you to have an amazing and blessed day, blessed week. I want you to share this message with someone who you think needs to hear it. And even if it's for you and you need to watch it multiple times, I want you to share it. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. All of those things. But most importantly, I want you to see yourself as the transition and the beauty of your change. The beauty of your change. The beauty of the seasons. The beauty of you accepting responsibility and accountability for where you are, and then allowing that thing to be your footstool and your purpose to help make positive impact for others. Take care.